To some experts, society is today full of many people that are good at assessing problems or analyzing problems, and only a handful of critical thinkers that are keen on solving the problems of society. And they're blaming it to a poor education system that teaches students to parrot or to remember and memorize what has been taught and not to think beyond what is given to them. Now, in this segment, we pick the mind of one of the key educationists to find out what needs to be done to turn around that education system so that we get more problem solvers than analyzers.
Less than a year, we were able to set up this place. Just because the vision was there, not just theoretically, but practically speaking. So when we were looking for investors, it wasn't a difficult thing to find because the conviction is there, the passion is there. So people are like, okay, here you go. What can you do with this? And that's what we're doing. Right now as we speak, we're, that's where we are. So it is doable, it's possible. I think when it comes to academia, a lot of people are so maybe overwhelmed, or maybe they think it's too hard. But as long as you find that passion and that thing that you really want to do and you know your calling, I guess it comes down to having faith in God and knowing that you're not here by accident, and just find that passion. And then whatever you're reading, you will understand, you will finish earlier. It doesn't become a chore. And it's that sort of understanding for me that has made me think, oh, hang on a minute, if I am able to function and I'm able to achieve a lot of what I've achieved, whether academically or else, then how much more our children? How are we educating our children? Why are we not getting the genius out of these children? Why are they finding school so boring? Why is it, why are we having to persuade them or cajole them or reward them or bribe them to do school when school is supposed to be fun? Montessori calls it learning is play and play is learning. Right now we're in a school as this interview happens. We don't hear any noise because the children are engaged and they're happy. They're not asking when are we going for a break. Oftentimes I have to tell them it's break time, kids, but we're having fun. They're having fun learning. If we can infiltrate a lot of schools or even parents to understand, hey, listen, you don't need to pressurize your children. There's no need for a child at age 12 or 13 to be sitting for exams if they're not ready. Let them learn what they have to learn. Let's stop the cramming and let's understand and master. When they master and understand, then we have the future scientists. Whereas now we have Einstein and then Pythagoras and then this, and then we box them in. Okay, kids, today you're going to learn about Einstein. But Einstein was not good at school, in the regular school. He was left to discover, he was left to explore. And now we have what we have. I hear a story of Thomas Edison, the guy who invented, one of the guys that invented the light bulb. He was expelled from school, right? And the letter was written to say, your child is not good for school, your child is not this. But the mother was smart enough to, reverse it and say, oh, they've excluded you from school because you're smart, because you're clever, because you're this, so I'm going to homeschool you. And today we have the light bulb, right? So I call it cardinal sin, that we put our kids in a so-called traditional school, or should I say the school of the industrialization period of this last 100 years, put them in classes like chickens. Even chickens are not doing well in the chicken farms. They're being fed antibiotics to keep healthy. It's not right. So let's get our children back. Let's parents change their mindset in the way we think of education. So we're not preparing our kids for the real world. And here, my vision from my experiences is to prepare our children for the real world, the future children. Let's think 15, 10 years ahead of now. These kids who are now 10 years old will be 20. If they don't become critical thinkers, to question, to explore, then we're finished because they become robotics. And in this day and age of technology and artificial intelligence, are we future-proofing our kids? Because here, I'm not sure, but even here it's coming in. In England, even the regular work of a cashier is being taken over by automated cashiers. So you go, you shop, you do your own shopping, you pay your own thing, you don't need a cashier. Surgeons are going to have robots doing their work very soon. A lot of professions, especially within the African community, where we want our children to be doctors and engineers, and we're forgetting that these same engineers and computer programmers are creating machines that can now take over our jobs. You see? So we're here to provide not just a glorified babysitting center even for these kids, but a place where they can truly become, again, the best versions of themselves. So unless we fix our methods of education, and unless parents and as a community we come together and really sit back and stop looking at all the materialistic gains. We've become so materialistic as a world. And sadly, even here in Africa, everybody is just money, money. There's more things beyond money. As the Bible says, the blessings of the Lord makes one rich and adds no sorrow. There is more to life than running after money. My dream would be to see every school in Uganda practice what we're doing here. It pains me to think that only those with the money can come and take part in this. Here we are, we started on the 9th. You know, that we have the 7 kids here who are really doing so well. And so to me, it's like just one child means one family. One child coming here means they're representing their families.
Now, did you know that society or the world is actually going green? And in this effort, there are funds, because many people and key players in the global economy are deliberate about seeing everyone going green. And the reason is simple: because of climate change. It is a problem. And those that are smart enough are seeing opportunity in this problem. We'll try to help you understand or see opportunity in the problem of climate change.
There are things which are happening and will continue to happen, which are being caused by things like climate change. We have diseases which never used to be spread so wildly or so widely, which are now spreading because of climate change. We have some pests. We have some problems. It can even be drought, which never used to happen, which are happening because the climate is changing. The question now becomes, how prepared and ready are you? You as an individual, but also as a business. If I was dealing in umbrellas and the rain is reducing and I'm still stocking more umbrellas, my sales are going to reduce and I may not be able to explain. But the truth is, rain is no longer as a threat to the people who used to buy from you umbrellas. If I've been selling clothes for cold weather, people will just stop buying. You think people are now advancing, they no longer want to put on thick jackets and thick coats. No, the weather is changing and it is threatening everything, be it agriculture, be it manufacturing, be it logistics, be it whatever. So make sure you keep awake, go beyond the big data, dig deeper, keep learning and keep abreast with the trends.
Now, business is going digital, and those that are keen on actually making big money and sustainably have to go digital. It's why agriculture is also embracing that through the warehouse visit system. Today, farmers can actually store their produce in a warehouse and share the data with the market and the bankers. Of course, with the bankers for financing before they get the market, but with the market for those that are keen on buying their produce. Let's take a look.
Usually when we talk about the warehouse receipt system, we are talking about a system that involves several stakeholders. And those stakeholders are the depositors who bring commodities like maize, beans to the warehouse facility. We are talking about warehouse operators, the people who actually own warehouse facilities and who are operating them. We are talking about financial institutions like banks. And we are even talking about market avenues like commodity exchanges and other avenues. So all that makes the warehouse receipt system. However, for today, I want to introduce to you the electronic warehouse receipt system that joins together these stakeholders. So we have developed an electronic system that brings together all the depositors and all the financial institutions that are participating in this warehouse receipt system to make sure that the information is streamlined. So right now what I have here is a system that will record the biodata about the depositors and then go ahead to record the information about the commodity they have brought at the warehouse facility and use this information to generate and issue what we call a warehouse receipt. This is a titled document that can be taken to the bank to get a loan. This loan will be based against the collateral from the depositor, like maize. If a depositor, when I say depositor, I'm talking about a farmer or a trader or someone who has commodities. So they can use those commodities using the warehouse receipt system to get a loan. And this is facilitated by an electronic system that we have developed and we are rolling out to these warehouse facilities. The system has been made to be very easy to use so that it is not prohibitive in complexity. We have made sure that it is secure. We have integrated it with the National Information Technology Authority infrastructure in the data center that is supported by the government. And during its development, we involved several stakeholders that will be participating in its use. So today we are doing training with the banks to make sure that that receipt which is issued at a warehouse facility can be used by the farmer to go to the bank and get a loan based on that warehouse receipt from the system. The bank goes ahead to encumber. Encumbering is putting, you can call it like a caveat, to make sure that that warehouse receipt that represents the commodities cannot be used to get a loan from anywhere else. So it is encumbered or frozen within the system so that if the farmer has gotten a loan against that warehouse receipt, before they pay back the loan, maybe after the prices for the commodity have stabilized, during the period before the money is paid back to the bank, the receipt is frozen in the system until the debt has been cleared. Yeah, so right now we are working with Centenary Bank to make sure that they are also onboarded on the system and farmers can go ahead and collect loans based on their commodities. So, immediately after the harvest, the prices for the maize or beans are very low. But if you were to wait for a few months, the prices will improve. So what the warehouse receipt system does is to allow you to store this commodity in a standard fashion that the commodity like maize cannot deteriorate, because when it is taken at a licensed warehouse facility, it will be dried and graded and put in a state that even if you keep it in one position for several months, it will retain its value.
That's all we had for you on this week's edition of Money and Markets. Thank you for being part of the show. Now, remember this show can be followed on our digital platforms as well, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on TikTok. It is being brought to you by Emirates. Now, from me and team, we'd like to wish you a very good evening and God bless.
Just close the doors, and you're in a world of your own. Travel is not just about the destination, it's also about how you get there. Fly Emirates, fly better.